Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. I got a real good feeling.
Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about your favorite Layer 0 interoperable blockchain known as Polkadot. Dot's its name, and it is here to stay because Polkadot is one of the projects that helps to bring together all the other Layer 1 solutions that DeFi and other parts of the cryptocurrency ecosystem are built on top of. We're talking not just about Bitcoin, but we're talking about Cardano, Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche. Many of these projects help to become interoperable through projects like Polkadot. Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano himself, even said that Cardano and the rest of the cryptocurrency space needs a Wi-Fi moment where everything just clicks and works, and Polkadot might be the way that that works. I am joined, as always, by my producer and co-host for this show, Smay, who is also a fan of Polkadot,
Hello.
so it's good that he's here. How you doing,
I
Smay?
do like Polkadot. I have to make a confession, though. I haven't been as up-to-date on Polkadot. I've been kind of focusing on other things.
Well, this show's going to help.
Yeah, so I will learn something just like you guys are learning something. So this is exciting.
Boom sauce, guys. I am looking forward to today's show. If you enjoyed today's show, make sure to smash that like button. Already got a couple hundred people watching. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. We got a lot of people here, and I really, really appreciate everybody who has joined us. We're going to be going for about half an hour. We're going to spend the majority of the stream doing questions and answers, and I'm going to be interacting with you guys. I love getting to know our community. We've got a great community, the Jedi Knights. Make sure to hit that join button down below if you are interested in joining this community, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's first start by diving into a little bit of news. There is a make or break moment for Polkadot coming, and it has to do with this head and shoulders pattern that you can see on this chart. In fact, jumping over to my chart, you can see it right here, and we're going to analyze it because it's actually really important that we understand DOT and its technicals so that we know where it might go. We're looking here at DOT over US dollars. We're on the Kraken chart, but I'm going to switch over to the Coinbase chart here. The Coinbase chart on Polkadot looks like this, and if we zoom out to the daily chart, you can see a little bit of the history of it. We've seen a major rally on Polkadot from $10 all the way up to a local high of $40, and DOT has been in a slight correction over the last 3 weeks. In fact, you can find Polkadot right now sitting at number 9. It is a cryptocurrency that's not normally super far in the news. It normally doesn't have a lot of attention, but it does just kind of grind away and develop itself behind the scenes. So it is a pretty quiet project, not a big hype, flashy project like Cardano and big hype, flashy person like Charles Hoskinson, but it is a good project, technically speaking, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But the thing that everybody's worried about right now on Polkadot is the simple fact that there is a head and shoulders pattern forming. You see the left shoulder right here, the head right here, and the right shoulder right here. This is a bad thing for anybody in a long position on Polkadot, or at least it seems so on the surface, but for anybody who is currently looking for a shorting opportunity, you might be very happy to know that this head and shoulders pattern has an interesting price target. In fact, the price target for this head and shoulders pattern is $13. Now pause. I'm not going to spread FUD and tell you for a second that I think Polkadot's going to $13. I don't think that's going to happen. That would wipe out about $15 billion worth of its value. I don't think it's going to drop that low. But I do have a feeling that Polkadot's going to break to the downside, and we'll draw some conclusions here in a minute. But first, let's start out here on the daily chart and look at our technicals. One of the very first things that we need to look at is the fact that there is some bullish convergence going on the daily chart MACD for Polkadot. The reason that that's important is because if Polkadot maintains this support, it's going to need all the help it can get away from it so that it doesn't break through it as a result of that head and shoulders pattern. We can also see some interesting things forming here on the RSI, namely there is bullish RSI divergence showing up on the daily chart. This shows up on almost every single chart right now. There is bullish RSI divergence on Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cardano, and now we're seeing it show up on the DOT chart. Furthermore, looking at our volume here, something interesting can be ascertained. The volume has been gradually decreasing ever since September the 13th. Up until then, the volume was increasing. We hit our aperture, our maximum right there. When the market hit its maximum, we hit the top. That's right around the time we hit all-time high on DOT up here around $40, or our local high right here around $40. Ever since then, the volume has been declining, and that actually makes a lot of sense because there's an argument to be made that this market is in a triangle pattern that you can see right here. This triangle pattern, getting rid of this flat level of support, looks a little bit like this. And this is actually one of the counter indicators that I want to bring up against this head and shoulders pattern. Guys, Polkadot has a lot of things going on behind the scenes fundamentally. So it breaking down here into the $15 to $20 region might not make a lot of sense from a fundamental standpoint. What would make a lot of sense from a fundamental standpoint is that instead of looking at this market like a head and shoulders pattern, as we could right here, let's instead look at it as a symmetrical triangle pattern, because then if we extrapolate here, Polkadot has a price target of $55. So see, let's pause for a second and take a lesson from this. It is very easy to manipulate a chart to mean whatever you want it to mean. And that's why we make it a priority here at this channel to show you the bullish and the bearish, the good and the bad and the ugly, and show you everything about a chart or a story so that you guys aren't just getting one side of the story, because there's two different ways you can construe everything, and this is a perfect example of it. Polkadot right now has a reason that it could go down to $15 and a reason that it could go to $55. Which one it does is the purpose of this video, trying to figure out what it might do. Taking a look at LuxAlgo, we can look and see that we currently are under a sell signal. LuxAlgo has given a pretty decent signals on this chart before. We saw a sell signal that preceded this correction. Buy signal preceded this correction. Of course, we've had a couple of fake outs here, and our take profits have been pretty solid. LuxAlgo is a very powerful indicator, but in this case, it's not as great historically as I would like on Polkadot, but right now we are currently under this sell signal. We even dipped into red territory, indicating strong selling pressure, but we've now reversed out of that, so that is a good sign. Now, turning LuxAlgo off, another thing I want to look at are the candlesticks right here, and the candle bodies in particular. Notice when we bottomed out on the daily chart over, what would this be, Monday and Tuesday, because today is there. Yeah, so this was Tuesday and Wednesday. You can see on Tuesday, we had a big red candlestick on Polkadot. And on Wednesday, which was yesterday, we saw a very long upper shadow on Polkadot between $27 and $28.75. This is a non-engulfing candlestick formation, and it signals that this bottom was not very strong for the bulls. It signals that the bulls bounced here, but it didn't bounce with a lot of confidence. So with all that said, I have more technicals that I want to bring you, but I first want to go to full screen and talk to the chat a little bit and see if you guys have any questions so far on what we are talking about, because I want to make sure you guys are up to speed on what's going on. While I am reading chat, Smay, what is your take on Polkadot, and do you hold any?
Yes, I do own Polkadot. It's actually my biggest holding. I really like Polkadot. I think it does a lot of very unique, interesting things. I think it has a very bright future. I think that it has some things like the pair chains and so on that I think just makes it, to me, a little bit more appetizing than some of the other DeFi projects and so on. And the fact that especially it's a layer 0 solution, I really like. The fact that I think it's kind of in a league of its own. Well, not really, because of also Cosmos, but I think it's better than Cosmos. But yeah, that's pretty much all I really know and have to say. So
yeah, well, guys, tell us in chat. Drop a hashtag Dot Gang if you are part of the hashtag Dot Gang. I'm sure there's a name for that. Is there, Smay, do you know what the name for the Polkadot community? It seems like there's a name for every single community in cryptocurrency, except for, like, funnily enough, Bitcoin. But yeah, what's the
Polkadots.
The Polkadotters.
No, not the Polkadots. The dots.
The dots. Hashtag dots. Let me know if you're part of the hashtag dots. See, Callie Elvis gets it. They say Smay is BitBoy's son.
Yeah.
Smay, what do you have to say about that?
I'm BitBoy's son.
You are indeed BitBoy's son.
He doesn't acknowledge it.
We posted a picture for proof over on our Twitter yesterday. I'm going on around the blockchain in 2.5 hours. I'll make sure to tell him. It wasn't yesterday. It was a couple weeks ago. My bad.
I was say timeline's all
Adam,
off.
Which one? Smay, you mentioned Cosmos earlier.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Dot.
You think Dot's
I don't even
better?
have to dive into it. And actually, hold on. Let me be fair. I don't know much about Cosmos. I'm biased, and I think in this case, I'm gonna step out of being Smay for a second. I'm gonna be Smay.
What? I'm gonna step out of being Smay.
I'm gonna stop being Smay the Goob. I'm gonna be Smay the Serious.
Okay.
This is an example of what you shouldn't be in the cryptocurrency space. A fan for no reason. Not to say, because I genuinely actually really like Polkadot, but I just said, well, I think Dot is better, and I have no idea why I think Dot's better. Don't be that. Don't be what Funny Smay was being. So
do as he says, not as he does. I completely
Exactly.
agree, Smay. Guys, look, you got to make sure that you're not being loyal to a project just for the sake of the fact that you were holding a bag. If you're going to be loyal to a project, have a good reason. With that said, let's continue moving on here with our technical analysis. I know the hashtag Dip and Dot gang out there wants to see what's going on. Going to run through some of our other technicals and see what we are seeing. Right now, there is nothing showing up of interest on our TD sequential other than the fact that back in August, in fact, it was July 29th, we had a red 9 flash on TD sequential, and the market went for a grand total of, let's see here, 25 days before that TD sequential got reset. That signals a metric ton of bullish pressure on Dippin' Dots, guys. Right now, that pressure seems to have subsided, but if Bitcoin starts going into a big rally, we talked about that on Coffee and Crypto this morning, if Bitcoin starts going into a big rally, then we could see something similar happen with DOT. In fact, I think whether we break to the upside as a result of this symmetrical triangle pattern or whether we break to the downside as a result of our head and shoulders that we talked about a second ago is actually going to have a lot to do with what Bitcoin does. I know I say that for every altcoin we cover, guys, but it's true, and you have to understand it because if you don't, you're going to get wrecked. The fact of the matter is Bitcoin is still the king of this market, and Ethereum is a very, very, very much the queen. And those two markets and what they do is definitely going to have a big impact. So I think here, based on everything that we're looking at, I do think that we are going to see some bullishness and some upwards momentum happening on Polkadot. I think that's going to happen for a number of reasons. But as this article says right over here, this is a make or break moment for Polkadot. If it starts breaking bearish here and moving down and breaking some of its support, then we are going to have a pretty big reason that it will be heading to the downside. But if we do manage to break to the upside here, then we're going to continue heading up. We're going to go into a pretty big rally. That seems like a pretty basic entry-level form of technical analysis here, but there's not a whole lot more to say on it, guys. It's really just in a decision point the same exact way that Bitcoin finds itself relatively often. Notice the VPVR actually has a very large spike where we are right now, so you could even say that $28.07 on Polkadot is one of the major levels that you should be watching. Let's go ahead and look down here on some of the shorter-term time frames, and we can get a better idea of what's going on down here. First and foremost, there is a double bottom that has taken place on the hourly chart, so any of you guys doing shorter term trading, you will definitely be happy about that. We can also look at our hourly chart moving average ribbons. I'm going to go ahead and turn off all of them except the 20 because I want to know what the 20 is doing. In fact, I want to know specifically what the 20 simple is doing. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over. No, I'm sorry. I do want the 20 EMA. There we go. So the 20 EMA, as you can see right here on the 1 hourly chart, is acting as support. This is a very good sign. This is indicative of short-term bullish pressure. But again, if you're doing some short-term trading on Polkadot, then you want to be watching this level right here. You want to be watching this resistance that we're currently testing, sitting around $28.50. If we see a break bullish here, then we're more than likely going to see a big run on Polkadot. Reason being, if we look back in the relatively recent history on Polkadot, there's a ton of support and resistance touches right around this 28.50 level. We can see tons of them throughout the last month and a half of price action. If we do manage to break there, then that is going to hopefully push us back up to our downtrending level of resistance, where Polkadot could then rally through and break from and move far to the upside. If that occurs, then of course we will keep you guys up to date on that. But right now, how Polkadot reacts to $28.50 is going to tell a lot about the short-term future of the market. Now, even going down onto the 30-minute chart, I think there's a reason to believe that that is going to happen. For example, we can go ahead and look here at the fact that there was an ascending triangle pattern. It's even in effect right now. I'm going to go ahead and switch this over to blue for support. This ascending triangle pattern right here, we can see we rallied and we're trading sideways. It looks like we're going to break bullish out of this, and if we do, that is going to give us a price target. Let's see here. We would have a price target of roughly $29.78. So keep this in mind. If we manage to break to the upside here, we will see a pretty strong rally. Taking a look at our Lux Algo, we can see that there's a strong buy signal down here on the 30-minute chart. The 45-minute chart, we're under a strong buy signal, and then on the hourly chart, it looks like we are under a strong buy signal as well. So short-term technicals on Polkadot are actually looking pretty solid. Looks like if we're able to maintain above 28.50 to 28.60, then we could be going into a couple dollar rally. And for anyone who is looking to trade this, a trade setup on that might look something a little bit like this. I probably wouldn't enter this trade just yet, but let's say if we get above probably 28.80, maybe 28.85, then that might be a decent place to enter a trade. Conservative stop loss. You guys know I like to have conservative stop losses. By the way, if you are not using stop losses in your trades, you need to. People don't do that sometimes, and it's really silly not to. And then a price target right up here around that 29.80 mark. We can also look at some other levels of resistance. Some other levels of resistance you might find are $30. So yeah, you might consider entering right around here. exiting half your position up here around 29.80, and then also exiting the rest of your position up here around 30. That's just one example of a trade setup that you could go with here on this chart. Don't want to go into a ton of detail on that, but that is hopefully pretty helpful for you guys. So I'm going to go back to full screen. We've done quite a bit of analysis on Polkadot. What's my conclusion? Here's the deal. Polkadot right now is suffering the same fate that the majority of the cryptocurrency market is. It just doesn't have much attention on it. And frankly, Polkadot never has a lot of attention on it. That speaks to the strength of its fundamentals. The fact that it's number 8 and you almost never hear about it represents the fact that its technology is the thing that's driving it. It doesn't have this massive, super loud community like Cardano and XRP does, and good for Cardano and XRP, but Polkadot not having that and it still being in the top 10 indicates to me that its technology is very, very helpful for these blockchain developers out here who are trying to interconnect and make sure that different cryptocurrencies are interoperable. That is very, very helpful. So the fundamentals are very strong. As far as the medium-term technicals, I told you the short-term technicals, I think it's going to break to the upside. Medium-term technicals, I think it's also going to break to the upside, but that's actually not based on Polkadot technical analysis. That's actually based on Bitcoin technical analysis, which, by the way, we're not talking about Bitcoin in this stream, but I do need to update you because if you're watching about Polkadot, I know you care about Bitcoin. Bitcoin's actually just had a pretty big rally over just the last 15 minutes or so. In the last 22 minutes, it has gone up $750. So that's a good sign. If Bitcoin then does continue this movement to the upside, then that's probably going to spill over into Polkadot. So definitely looking forward to that. But frankly, I think you might be able to find better returns elsewhere in the cryptocurrency market than just in Polkadot. So that's my take on all of it. I'd love to hear what you think, guys. Give me a 1 in chat if you think Polkadot is heading back to $40 in the next 14 days. Frankly, I'm kind of in that camp. I kind of am in that camp. Smayer, we're on
You think it's going?
We're on full screen?
You're on full screen.
Okay, cool.
You think we're going to $40 in the next month?
I think we might be, to be honest with you.
I hope so.
Yeah, I know, because you hold it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, Smay, right now, I actually do think that's going to happen because I'm so bullish on Bitcoin for the next couple of months that I do think that that's going to happen. Yeah, I think we're going to see a $40 Polkadot in the next, maybe not 2 weeks, but probably the next 4 weeks. Yeah. Shane Hansen said Naomi had a great interview with Charles today. I saw that uploaded. I didn't have a chance to watch that. I talked with Naomi about that, and she said that it was a great interview. Naomi's actually a friend of the channel now. I've gotten to know her. I interviewed her, and she is going to be... we are going to be premiering that interview between myself and Naomi Brockwell on Saturday. So make sure you tune in. When will that be going up, Snake?
9:30 a.m. on Saturday.
9:30 Eastern. Make sure to tune in. It was a great interview. Naomi gave some great answers. I had a lot of fun with that, so make sure you tune in. You're not going to want to miss that.
Also, guys, make sure you tune in tomorrow, especially if you love this show, because we're going to be having an announcement about this show tomorrow. So please make sure you guys tune in for that.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and read some chat here. I love interacting with you guys. Like I've told you before, this is one of my favorite parts of this market. Little Bird said, I'm new. Can you please tell me when I should enter? I actually did that a second ago. So this comment was about 5-6 minutes ago. So that was before I did that. So there you go.
Rewind.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else do we have here? Matt C. and Jeb for office in 2024. Maybe Matt C. I don't know about me.
I was like,
I can't be president. I'm not 35.
Here's a good one. If Bitcoin reaches 100,000, what do you think DOT can do? BitBoy guesses $150. Curious on your thoughts.
I don't think DOT would go quite that high, but I think it would be pushing 100 if Bitcoin hit 100,000.
I would be a very happy man.
Yeah, you would probably be a very happy man. Actually, absolutely.
Yeah.
Jeb, you said you were thinking of AVAX. Did you buy? I didn't buy it yet, but I am actually thinking about it. AVAX and Avalanche, it's a really good project, and I really like it. So I'm glad you actually reminded me. I'm glad I will probably be doing that. I want some Avalanche. It's a really awesome project. So yeah, absolutely. Let's see this. What else do we have here? Matt C. said Bitcoin will pull everything with it. I also like a few projects under the DOT ecosystem, Polka Bridge in particular.
Yeah.
Vicus said, nice shirt, Jeb.
Well,
thank you very much.
I was going to say, and to be honest with you guys, when I first, so this is going to make sense, trust me. When I first joined the company, actually, and I started working for Jeb, I actually got hired as a researcher, funny enough, before they knew my production talents. And one of the first reports I ever gave was a report about Polkadot, and at that time I was a much more researched crypto investor than I am now, just because I'm more focused on production stuff. But yeah, no, one of my favorite things I learned about Polkadot back then is the whole parachain system. Because at the time, I didn't really hear much anything similar to it. I love the idea that it gives developers so much freedom while also maintaining and being able to be connected to the security of the main chain. So I love Polkadot. I love Polkadot because it gives so many different developers the ability to do literally kind of whatever they want on it. Which I think is pretty neat. And that's why I think somebody mentioned that they're going to be launching those the first bit of parachains here soon. So that's pretty great.
Yeah, no, guys, Polkadot has a really awesome project behind it. And the fact of the matter is, it is needed. We need a way that we need a way for all these different blockchains to communicate with each other, because the simple fact of the matter is, if we are dealing with Ethereum and Cardano and Solana and Avalanche and all these different DeFi protocols and projects, then we're going to have so many different... It's going to overcomplicate the cryptocurrency space. We need these cryptocurrencies to be able to communicate with each other, and that's what Polkadot does. It's a very real need in crypto. Look, guys, you might not realize it. Drop a 1 in chat if you've been here for less than a year. I want to see a bunch of 1s because I know a lot of you guys have been here for less than a year. I've been here for 4 years. I've been watching this cryptocurrency market grow. DeFi, for half the time I've been in crypto, didn't even exist. DeFi was a word that I remember people talking about, like, oh yeah, this will be cool one day in the future. We're going to have DeFi stuff. I remember that like 2 years ago. It was oh, look, in Back to the Future in 2015, we're going to have hoverboards kind of thing. That's what we were looking at 2 years ago with DeFi. It didn't exist. Now there's probably about, I think there's $130 billion locked in Ethereum DeFi, and grand total, I think there's close to $200 billion in DeFi. That is absolutely insane. Look at all these 1s. Welcome to the cryptocurrency space. A lot of our members are saying 1. Welcome to the cryptocurrency space, guys. This is awesome. And 1, keep in mind, you are still very, very new. You are still very, very early into the cryptocurrency space. You are so incredibly early, it's not even funny. If you think you're late to crypto, that's like saying that you're late to the internet in 1994. It might have seemed like an accurate statement at the time, but looking back with the benefit of hindsight, you would have realized, oh man, 1994, things had barely even gotten started yet. That's where we are in crypto, guys. So if you're looking to get into cryptocurrency and you've been here for less than a year, you just showed up, you haven't missed out. Polkadot is one that you have not missed out on either. I think Polkadot, if it manages to maintain as the #1 and most valuable cryptocurrency for its specific use case, is going to be worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars in the future. I don't know how long that will take, but I do think that DOT is going to have a very bright future ahead of it.
Somebody asked me what I think the Celtics are going to look like this year. I'm
bullish or bearish?
Hesitantly bullish. As a fan, I want them to succeed, but I don't know how much I love this team right now.
Dang. I don't watch sports ball, so got to be honest, I'm not very versed in that. I want to watch some more sports ball, but hey, drop a 7 in chat if you're like me and you're not very much into sports ball. In fact, I have the Beholder set interoperability. Exactly. That's the point. How much will DOT be in 5 years? If it's still king of its space, probably over 1,000. I'm just going to be honest. I mean, look, 5 years ago, Bitcoin was worth, Bitcoin was worth like less than $1,000. So it's just, it's just the way it is.
I will continue to be a happy person.
Yes, indeed. Michael McCoy just joined as a Jedi youngling. Welcome, Michael. Thank you very much for joining the team, my friend. I'm old and new. There you go. No mention of Kusama and his working parachains. Yeah, we didn't plan to get into too much detail on that, but yes, absolutely make sure that you guys are familiar with that. We will talk about that some more in the future. Somebody talked a little bit about the parachains. Kelly Kellum is a legend. Kelly Kellum absolutely is a legend. Make sure to go follow him on Twitter. I'm going to put his handle here, at Kelly Kellum. He's got some great posts over there. He uses Market Cipher a lot. He's been teaching me about Market Cipher. It's a really, really cool indicator. But yeah, guys, we're just going to spend the next 5 minutes or so enjoying each other's company. I'm going to read some chat and answer some stuff. DOT, how much of a target in 1 month? I think in a month it'll probably be around 40, personally. If Bitcoin hits $100,000 by December 15th, I will get a Crypto Jeb small tattoo. Please don't do that. Please don't do that, Buck. Please don't. Do you think Polygon's a better buy than ADA at this point? Both pumping similar highs. I don't think that it's necessarily a better buy, but I don't think it's a worse buy either. They both do two different things, and they're both very good at what they do. So I think they're both good investments. Let's see here. Much love to Kelly. Let's see here. What else do we got? Hey, Jeb, I heard Vet may be listed on Coinbase soon. Some thoughts on that, said Roland. If that were to happen, Vet would explode. It absolutely would explode. Emil said, I remember when Jeeb was a little kid playing around. I do too. I remember when, I was telling Smay this earlier, it hasn't even been 2 years since I did a face reveal on the channel. And now we have a team of 10 people running this channel. It just speaks to the amount of blessings that we have received, and I thank our Lord for that every single day. Let's see here. What else do we got? You see anything here, Smay? Bitcoin pumping right now. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, I looked at that a second ago. It's right around 44,000. Like I said earlier, guys, the future of DOT is very much dependent on the future of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin continues to move to the upside, like I think it will, which we've been talking about for the last couple of days, then DOT will likely follow, but full screen.
Honestly, I could probably use a crash right amount now if I want to win the price predictions this week.
That's true. Let's see. This is really cool. Zachary Lewis said, I ain't never been able to save as much money as I have been investing into crypto. I'm a recovering addict and never save money. Thank you and crypto. Shout out to you, man. Good for you. That's what I want to see. I want to see. Here's my vision for the cryptocurrency space, guys. And thank you very much to Deep Diver, who just joined as a Jedi Youngling. Welcome to the community. Here's what I want to see from crypto. Crypto, unfortunately, right now is a space that there's a lot of greed, there's a lot of hatred, there's a lot of tribalism, and there's a lot of divisiveness. That's not what cryptocurrency was built to do. Crypto was built to bring people together. Crypto was built to make a better world that we can all live in and where we can all be free and have control of our own finances so that we're not a slave to many different things like addictions or also like our government. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency are built to make the everyman's life better. That's why it attracts the kind of people that it does, the good people that are here constantly working to improve themselves and everyone else. And I want to make sure that we don't lose that vision that Satoshi Nakamoto and many of the cypherpunks that started this space had of making the world a better place through financial inclusion. I love cryptocurrency, not because it makes me a lot of money, although yes, our company has been doing very well. That's not why I love crypto. The reason I love crypto is because cryptocurrency changed my life by helping me out of financial destitution and lifted me into financial freedom. And I've now been able to do that with my 9 employees plus myself, who makes 10. And I've also been able to do that with the 178,000 some of you guys who watch this channel every single day. So I thank you for watching this channel, and I encourage you, don't forget why we're here. Good afternoon, Jeb. Thoughts on ADA sentiment? The sentiment on ADA is... Right now, I think the ADA gang has chilled out a little bit just because the price isn't doing a whole lot. But I think the sentiment is very much, how would I put this? It's very bullish, but it's being kind of held down right now. I feel like as soon as anything big comes, then we're going to see a big movement on ADA. When Lambo, Jeb? Probably sooner than you think. TZ said, thank you, Jeb and team. Thank you very much for joining, TZ. Welcome to the Jedi Knights. I know you joined this morning, I think it was. Welcome, my friend. Let's see here. Thank you guys for your super chats, by the way. Oceano Woods, I'm not sure I'll be able to answer this the way you want, but do I have any thoughts on B Pro? I do not. I'm not familiar with it, unfortunately. Let's see here. Jeb, what do you think about Algo right now? Price is looking like it's sitting on support. I think I looked at Algo on this show a little while ago.
Yesterday, for sure.
Algo was yesterday? Do I have that bad of a memory?
No, it was XRP.
I was going to say, that was XRP yesterday.
Tuesday.
Now, Algorand right now, guys, it has a massive level of support. I can show you the chart really quickly. It has a massive level of support. It's a big descending triangle pattern. If it manages to hold this support and the market moves to the upside, then be looking for a break to the upside on it. I'm actually relatively bullish on Algorand right now. I think it's a pretty good project as well, so definitely want to check out. Let's go back to full screen. Read a couple more comments, and then we're going to wrap it out here, guys. Thank you guys very much for tuning in, and also make sure you hit that like button. You got to get you a Lambo, Jeb. I could get a Lambo if I wanted to, but I am and I don't say that to flex. I say that because I want you guys to understand where my heart is. My heart is not to buy a fancy car, although I would like to have a nice car. I drive a relatively new Camry right now. It's a 2020, which I love. I love that car to death. My heart is not to go. I don't do this for cars, and there's nothing wrong with anybody who buys cars. I don't in any way, shape, or form want to knock that. If you want to go get a car and that's why you're in crypto, you go get your car, man. More power to you. What I'm doing right now is I'm reinvesting everything I make into this company, giving raises, hiring new employees, upgrading our set, and building this team, and that's what I'm here for. So,
how much is a Lamborghini?
Depending on the one you can get a used Gallardo for like $80,000. You can get a brand new Aventador SVJ for $600,000. It depends on what you buy. You can buy a Lamborghini Urus for, I think that's in the 220s. I love the Urus. I know all about supercars, guys. I love supercars, and I'd like to have one in the future, but I'm not going to do that right now until I've given. One of the things I've always said is if I ever buy a sports or a supercar, I am going to give as much money as it costs to ministry before I buy that. So if I buy a $500,000 supercar, I'm going to give $500,000 to ministry before I do that. For example, Life for the Innocent helps with trafficking. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't know if me talking about that will get us demonetized, but that's one of the ministries that we're working with. So that's where my heart is. Like I said, nothing against anybody who buys cool cars. I like cool cars. There's definitely nothing wrong with that.
I'm not a car guy.
Toyotas are solid. I love my Toyota, man. My Camry. Oh, people make fun of me for my Camry. I don't care, man. That thing is comfy. It's fast. I grew up with, not like I didn't grow up with a fancy car, but I love my car. Jeb, are you local to BitBoy? I'm in Gainesville, Florida. BitBoy's in Atlanta, Georgia, so he's only about 8 hours away. So, yeah, we're actually pretty
Maybe
close.
one day.
Maybe I want to meet him in person. I've actually never met him. I am friends with a pastor who's met him, though. Named Phil Corson. He might be watching. He always watches. Suzuki Indestructible. They do make good motorcycles. I have a Honda motorcycle, CBR 300R.
I'm a big, when it comes to like cars or really anything at that matter, I'm a huge fan of practical.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat for right now. And guys, you got to realize we are very successful here in crypto, but I am also still 21. So I don't want to go and spend a bunch of money on a car when I don't even have I don't have a house and I don't have a massive amount of savings for my future family and a wife that I haven't even met yet. So, I'm trying to be as responsible as I possibly can with my money. And that's one of the things I like to do here is talk about financial responsibility. And, I don't know everything about it, but what I do know, I like to share. So that's one of the things I like to talk about. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you today. I really enjoyed sitting here and discussing with you guys. I really, really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you very much. We're going to come at you tomorrow, and we're going to talk about some more cryptocurrencies. I cannot wait to help you guys reach financial freedom here in the cryptocurrency market. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you guys very much for understanding us talking about Lamborghini and all this stuff. Really, really appreciate you guys. That's all I got for you today. Smay, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap it out?
Nope.
Cool. Well, guys, that's all I got before I go. I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching. As always, you'd think that get old, but it never does. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good